Hello, welcome to Rogue Brothers. Today we're going to be playing something a little bit different. We're going to be having a go at this game called Surviving Mars, a game by Paradox, and we like Paradox as Rogue Brothers, but this one I find went a little bit under the radar. So let's have a go at this, let's have a bit of fun. I've played it a little bit and I know things about it. I'm not an expert, but I've quite enjoyed it. So let's jump into a game. Let's start a new game. And as most Paradox games seem to be quite complicated, this one looks complicated, but it's actually quite good fun, quite simple really. And I think the aim of this run will be to try and, not just colonize Mars, but make it livable. So this game, you're basically coming from Earth, go into Mars, and trying to live on it and make it, a nice place to live. I want to terraform it, I want to make it livable, I want to have people walking on the surface of Mars. That's the aim of the game. And so here we go, in a new game we have a few settings and a lot of information here. The effects, if you change these you get different effects here, but don't worry about that, I'll try and explain to you what is going on. We have the mission setup, difficulty challenge, don't worry about that because that will change when you change these settings. So here we have a mission sponsor. Now you have all these different sponsors. This is kind of like your nation that you are. They all have different bonuses. Europe's very good at science. They've got a special science building, but they don't get much funding. You have something like China here. As you can see, they have a bit more money, way more starting applicants, so more people want to go to Mars from China. And then you have the easiest one, the International Mars Mission. You get loads of money, loads of applicants, fair bit of science, it's all quite good. So this is kind of the difficulty setting for you and a bit of replayability. So you have the easiest one at the top and they slowly work their way down, getting harder and harder. You got Japan and Russia at the bottom and the Church of the New Ark right at the bottom. These are the hard ones if you want to give yourself a challenge. But as I said, we want to terraform Mars, we want to make Mars green. So I am going to pick the terraforming initiative. Funding not too bad, 8 billion isn't too bad, only 100 starting applicants, and the science isn't great, but I don't seem to mind the science. You can get that rolling quite quickly, so we're going to pick them. When you pick them, it automatically picks you a logo. Here you got our Christmas tree, triple Christmas tree logo, looking great. As you can see on the company logos, you go all these different logos you can pick if you want, but we're going to stick with the Christmas tree logo. I'm a big fan of Christmas trees. I think most people are. Let's stick with the triple Christmas tree. We're going to make Mars very festive. Now this is the commander profile. This is kind of your play style that you can go for. They're all slightly different. They don't make a huge difference, but it's just a few things that you start off with that can help you. A few technologies that will I think you can unlock quite quickly in the game. I think that's how it works, but ones I'd recommend to you would be a rocket scientist, because they get, you start with an extra rocket, but you also get this tech, which is very useful later on in the game. Astrogeologist is very useful because that's how you can make a lot of money. If you've picked a nation that doesn't start with much money, this is quite a good one to pick. Futurist I like playing as, but I'd recommend for new players, City Mayor, you get a load of money at the beginning, that's great, very useful, and all the buildings are cheaper. So that's a good one to start off if you're new. But I'll pick Astrogeologist is good because you get a rare metal deposit and it can start the game a bit quicker, you get money rolling in a bit faster, so we will go with that. We'll see how that goes. As for mystery, this is basically your storyline. So you've got 4 easy stories, 4 normal story modes, and 4 hard story modes. I've played a fair few of these on random, and I always seem to get the hard one, but it's probably still random, I'm just getting unlucky. But yeah, this is kind of your story mode. So every time you play, you're hoping to get a different experience, and so random times throughout the game when you're playing, random things will happen, and that will be due to your storyline mostly. But we're going to go random. We don't know what's going to happen, we can't prepare for it, so that's quite fun. Colonies, these kind of guys kind of just do their own thing. They don't really get in the way that much as far as I'm aware. They do milestones, but milestones just gets you a bit of science. and there's planetary anomalies that help you out. But you don't really want to compete for them, but you know, for the sake of having a go, let's leave them in. And game rules, you can kind of change the way the game works. If you want to run it through it like faster, or you want a slower game, you can click on some of these. You know, you get much more money. You don't want disasters. You know, if you don't want to terraform, no events at all. This is the kind of thing that you can select to try and, you know, make the game easier for you, or maybe harder, depending on what you like. But as we are trying to terraform, we're not going to, don't click on this if you want to terraform the planet. A bit obvious, but yeah. That is everything that we need, so let's carry on. This is our rocket. This is what we're going to be flying to Mars with. As you can see, it's big and green because we are terraformers. Apparently we have a green spaceship because of that. And spent all our money on paint by the looks of it. So let's load up our spaceship. Now there's a few of these things that you kind of need. Polymers, machine parts and electronics you're going to need. These are your basic building resources along with metals and concrete. But you can get metals and concrete from the actual planet itself. So it's worth bringing these. Don't bring concrete and metals early game unless you really want to. Unless you're a bit of an expert and you know exactly what you need and you can rush through things. Orbital probes are very useful so they can look in the surrounding area quickly, get the game going faster. I don't need 4, I'm going to bring 3 so I can, you know, bring a bit more of other stuff. Food will be for when you have colonists, but we will not be starting with colonists. You land, you set up, and then you bring colonists later. Drones, these are the guys that build everything, so you're going to want a few drones. We've got 2 at the moment, but we're going to want more. And then you have these various RCs, so these remote controlled vehicles. A commander is very useful. Drones travel with them, so you can go across the planet and build stuff elsewhere. Explorers analyze anomalies, as it says there. Look, vehicle that analyzes anomalies. That is useful. You'll see why when we play. Transport kind of does what it says on the tin. It also collects resources, which is useful. As for dozer, these things just kind of landscape for you, which can be useful if you have, you know, a very varied landscape. But I would much rather bring one of these guys, an RC commander. And these guys are, well, look, 500 million. These are only 300 mil, so I think that's the right thing to do. Also prefab buildings. So these are some of the buildings that you want to bring, so you can start off really quickly. You kind of need a few of these, or you can't actually start the game anyway. So a drone hub. This is how drones move around. When your rocket lands, it basically acts as a drone hub. So if you send it off without building one of these, or having a commander, your drones will all just be lost and you won't be able to play. So don't send your rocket off until you've got a drone hub down. But I don't need 2, I don't think, so I'm going to bring just 1 for now. I like drone hubs, I'm a big fan of them, but just bring 1 at the beginning, I would say. I'm not the best player in the world, but you only need 1. But I'm pretty sure we need one of these, a moisture evaporator. We need water on Mars. So we'll go for that. We need a bit of power, so Stirling generators. These things just last forever, they're great. They just produce power non-stop the whole game. They don't produce much, but they just keep going, so very useful. For your refinery, this is what you're going to need at the beginning, because you're going to have to send your spaceship back. Unless you're the first and the easiest nation, the sponsor in the game, because they refuel automatically, but my ships don't, so you have to refill them with fuel. So that's what we're going to bring. I think that's everything. We have a few spare space, so let's bring more drones. I like drones, big fan of drones. And we can rename our ship, but Shangyang is going to be the Shangyang. I don't tend to get too attached to my spaceships, because you can end up just blowing them up anyway if you want, sending them to nuke the polar ice caps later anyway, so I don't tend to get too in love with my spaceships. Here we go. This is select your landing spot. Here's the whole of Mars. We have a whole, choice of the whole of Mars. So if you click on these, they've got some pre-set up ones that tend to be quite generous. Here you go. You've got threats. These things are, disasters that will happen on Earth, on the Mars, and then you've got the resources that will be in that area. As you can see, they're all quite nice, these preset ones. So you kind of want to pick one that has high resources and low threats. And here's topology, basically how flat or steep the land is, because you've only got a little bit of land that you're going to be using. You don't get to use the whole of Mars, you're just going to get a little section. So I think flat is pretty good. This is quite a nice one. Serenum Beta, or Beta, however you want to say it. It's got good resources. I like water. Water I find it's a bit annoying at times to get, and it runs out, whereas these two you can get forever in the game if you get to the right technology. A few dust devils, meteors. We don't have much cold waves and dust storms, but that's fine. I find dust devils are most annoying to really deal with because they seem to stay in the same place and just destroy the same thing over and over. So you can work around them, but a bit annoying. Dust storms, they're really bad. You know, you've got to try and save up all your resources for when these hit, because you end up having to, you know, stop all production in certain areas. So it's probably good that, you know, they're not that bad. They won't stop us on our terraforming missions. Meteors, you know, kind of says what it is on the tin. It comes and smashes into your stuff and destroys it. And cold waves just gets real cold. Also similar to dust storms, pretty bad. But yeah, I'm happy with this. Relatively flat. You know, it's got a good altitude, so I think that's pretty good for if you want to use solar or wind. This is good for wind the higher up you are. So let's just go for this. This is the kind of thing we're going to want. You know, look, very green, people walking around. There's no dome over the top. That's nice. Although it doesn't seem to have any houses or anything, just a few gardens. But you know, let's get stuck in. Welcome to Mars. Here we go. Look, this is where we're going to be living and building. It's pretty lumpy up here. It's pretty bad. Not terrible. Okay, so we've got all this information to take in. Don't worry too much about it. You've got your resources up here. You've got the terraforming that you've done so far. We're 0% on everything at the moment, but we won't get that for a while, I don't think. You've got water. Here you've got oxygen, and you've got electricity. Now these are the three you really want to pay attention to, because you don't want your people to die, obviously. Here you've got science and how far along the science you are. We're NA because we've not started any science yet. We should probably pause the game because we're actually wasting time. And here's our funding. So we've got all this. I'll point stuff out to you later in the game if we need it. But let's get stuck in down here. We have a spaceship that's ready to land. We have all this information here. Yeah, cool. Yeah, brilliant. Telling us how to terraform. We know how to terraform. We'll get to that. Exploration. So we want to start exploring. As you can see, we've got this big grid. This is all we can build in. You can lower these and, you know, raise some of these. You know, build little tunnels between it, because there'll be resources up here and anomalies up here. But we kind of pretty much want to start where they've given us this hint as to what is here already. But as you can see, we don't appear to have any water. Now if you hover over these sections, it tells you there's a high chance that this sector contains water and concrete. It also tells you the buildable area, but you can sort that out yourself by flattening it. But here you got all these different ones that give you different tips as to where you should and shouldn't be scanning. Now I want water, and this one says there's water, so I'm going to use my orbital probe.
Milestone achieved.
And there you go, we've found water. That's a good amount of water, 13,000, and also a few metals there. So we're going to use the orbital probe here as well. Oh, more water, that's good. Now water is quite a tricky resource to really get going well later on in the game. We're going to save this orbital probe, or will we? No, let's use it here. Let's get a little square, and we've got ourselves an anomaly. Now zoom in. Here we go. Now water here, we've got low grade, which means it takes a while to pump out the ground. This one's low grade. We've got rare metals, average grade, so that will come out faster. We've got a bit of concrete deposits, metal and concrete. Now this is interesting. So we don't really need to go out here and collect these. This metal won't be that important. First, we kind of want to focus on this rare metal. So I'm gonna start building around here. I'm gonna try and collect these black areas here, which are These are little metal deposits that are on the planet already. Anomalies, now we can scan those and they will help us with science or new technologies and all that kind of stuff. And we've achieved a milestone straight away. If you click on that, it opens milestones. So that's down here. Which one is it? This one here. Milestones. And you can do all sorts of milestones that will give you science. But we want to scan. Here we go. To scan a few things. We'll just, queue them up. And that's scanning the area around us. Now let's land our spaceship. Let's land it near the concrete and the rare metals, and I guess the water as well. So let's land it right here. And
Sector scanned.
The game.
Found.
So here it is. We have a build menu, a map overview. So that's just the same as if you zoom out. Map overview. Then we have resupply. So if you click on this, here we've got cargo rockets, passenger rockets, supply pods. You send a cargo rocket if you need more of these resources. Just fill it up, charges you money. So that's where the funding kicks in. We have passenger rockets. You will send in passengers once we have a dome for them. We have a supply pod. You can also just get resources, but it's much cheaper to send, and you can only send much less. So keep that in the back of your mind. You need to be supplying yourself. Here we go. Just landed, out it comes. Here's our R2 commander. There you go. And it's got 4 drones that are inside it. And out come the drones. Now when a spaceship lands, it sends out all sorts of dust that can mess up your buildings. But we don't have any buildings yet, so that's fine. So let's get building. We want to build our drone hub. Now, this is where the drones can go as far as it can reach inside this blue shape, whatever shape it is. We'll place it, let's just place it here. So our drones will go in, build this, because we have a prefab that was already set up. Now we want to store all our materials here. Let's hurry this up a bit. This is just a universal deposit, it will just take everything, so they'll just unload the spaceship and put it here. Now this needs power, so let's give it some, and as we had some Stirling generators, build some Stirling generators. You can connect these things with power cables, but at the beginning keep it nice and close. And we've got a load of metal here that we want collected, so I'm going to build, come to deposit, we want a deposit of metal here. So put that there, and the drones will eventually get to work picking this stuff up and putting it on the metals. Okay, that's a good way to start. Now we have to start extracting concrete, and as we got concrete here, that's pretty good. Let's get it going. That's good. On the right, it tells us how much available resource there is and the grade. That's fine. No need to worry, and we need to power it. So let's power it up. As you can see, there's got little lines here, show you that they're connected. But yes, let's get that built, and let's start collecting concrete. Now, as you probably can tell, concrete gets pumped out, but it also pumps out waste rock, so we need to put that waste rock somewhere. So let's get a little storage, let's get some concrete. So we want you to collect the concrete. I want to put it, let's get it nice and close. Put concrete there, and there's a dumping site. This is where you put the waste rock. So let's put a load of waste rock there. So they'll get the waste rock and get rid of it. So here it goes. Pretty cool, look. Raking the ground, getting concrete. You can change the way it looks. The skin. Look at these things. Let's go with that one. I've never really done that one before. They all, all these things have different skins, but choose what you like. Now, nice little basic setup, but we need to refuel our spaceship. It's going to tell me how to open the build menu, but we're already there, don't worry about it. So life support, we have oxygen production, water production, then you can store the water, you'll get oxygen tank, storing oxygen there. Pipes connects both water and oxygen, so it does both of them, and you don't need to keep them separate, you can mix them up. So don't worry about that. That's pretty useful stuff. But here you go. We want a moisture vapor or vaporator rather. Let's just stick it on. We don't want to be too close to the concrete maker. It'll keep extracting that and it's pumping out dust, so you've got to be aware of that. So we'll put down got our moisture evaporator. Let's build a water tower. As you can see, it's got the pumps is where the water will come out, so you connect the pump to the evaporator and it automatically links them. So that's just going to cost a bit of metal, and we've been collecting metal, so that's good. Now there's more metal over here and here. It's best to have a harvester thing to do that, but we don't have one of those yet. We can do something around to sort that out, but not yet. And also we're going to need to make fuel. So let's get this fella. Yeah, we don't need hints on terraforming. It's going to take us a while to get there anyway, or at least when I play it, it does. And there we go. We're going to build a pipe there. So it's telling us the oil refinery isn't being working because it hasn't got this pipe. Now it's going to get oil, or fuel rather. So water pumps into that. It makes fuel from water, which is brilliant. You know, it's very useful for a game. So here we go. Let's get the fuel. I want to collect the fuel here, so it's very close to the spaceship. And so when this fuel is produced, it will come and sit on this little section, and then our drones, our little working drones, will come pick it up and they will put it inside the spaceship, and then we can send the spaceship off when it's fueled with fuel. Now it also takes exports. You can turn export off or on with this button here. You send it back to Earth with this once it's full with fuel rather, and you can go on an expedition. This is random events that happen on the planet that will pop up at random times. At the moment there's only a few, but we don't need to worry about those because we don't have the resources to get going there yet. But here we are, nice and basic. Let's speed the game up. Let's get this fuel. We're going to want this to be sent off pretty quickly. Now we've got a nice bit of concrete coming, and what I always like to do early on in the game is get a landing pad, because it stops there being as much dust when your spaceship lands. I think I'm going to put it here, a bit in the middle of nowhere, but I don't want it landing too close to this stuff set up. And I'm going to build a dome around here, so they're kind of close to that, and I'm going to want a dome over here because these people need to run the mining drills that we're going to have, the mining points. So if you go to the building menu and the production, we have the concrete extractor. It just runs by itself, but we have, as you can see, that's workers. 12 workers can work here and here as well. So both the rare metals extractor, which is this point here, and normal metals here, both run by humans, and the humans need to be nearby to get that to work. They have to be inside the dome's area of influence to be able to travel to work at that mine. Okay, now there's water here. I would like to get that water, but we haven't got the technology going yet, and I really should have started the technology, but let's just get it going now. It's this tab here down the bottom. As you can see, we have all sorts of different technologies, and look, it goes on a long time. As you can see, we've already unlocked deep scans. That's already unlocked from the beginning. We've also got this interplanetary projects already unlocked, so that's pretty good. But you go all these different techs, do all these different things. Now we don't really need a big cargo. It can be useful. Farms are very useful to feed your people. Don't need a bulldozer. And as you unlock these, you'll get the same kind of stuff in the same grid whenever you play the game. So for social, you have a similar set at the top, and for physics, a similar set at the top, but they randomise up every time you play the game, just to make it a little bit different. So there'll be the first text, and then the next section of text, and then the next section. I can't remember if it's 4 or 5 or however many. But we kind of want applicants to come. We'd like extractors to be better, that increase, let's start off with just getting some physics going, and then we will do a bit of social. We want more applicants coming, so you can outsource get more science. Probably a good thing to do at the start. I'm going to do that, you know, it's probably a bit cheeky, but these things are about 1,000 each, and so 1,000 research a day is pretty useful. So we want this to fill up, we want to send it back to Earth, but we have another, if I'm quite right, yes, we have another spaceship, and I want to bring some more resources. Now here we have all sorts of resources that we can get. I want an explorer so I can look at an anomaly. I don't really need this stuff here. I don't really need concretes and metals, I can get those. A few more drones are always useful. Prefab buildings, I would like another drone hub, but not yet. We don't really need it. Let's get a bit more power. But let's just get a load more. These things, machine parts, are useful because we can start getting some wind. We can send some wind into power. That'd be quite a good thing to do. And I also want a transport. Now we're running out of money very quickly, so I'll send that. Now as you can see, it's on its way. 1%, 2%. It's really quick. Flying to Earth in 25 Earth hours is 1 sol. So they get to Earth quick, these spaceships. But not much going on right now. We have water tower collecting water, powering everything. Power's good. Look, we've got power production 20, power demand 18. Now we're going to want to produce a metal extractor. Okay, we're going to want that. We're going to want a dome. So dome is here. We have all sorts of different domes. If you are certain nations, you can build a self-sufficient dome from the beginning, but otherwise you have to build these basic domes. Now these ones, this one and this one cost polymers. But I think it's always worth building these, even though they cost polymers. And they also cost a bit more power and water and hydrogen. Hydrogen? Oxygen. Don't want to pipe hydrogen into there, it won't go well. Oh, what's going on here? So we've got a mission HQ on Earth has decided to boost the expansion capabilities of the colony by providing a supply pod. Ooh. I already get one of these coming, but I'd rather just get free research. Complete. There we go. Free research, that's ideal. And it's all the way down here. So it will work better, the one that we've already got coming. Okay, so I want to build a dome. Let's build it right here. So they'll get to work, they'll start building that.
Sector scanned. Anomaly found.
And we've scanned using, you know, we clicked on this, we've scanned this section, and we found another anomaly. So it uses research, that's good. Something to take into consideration. Getting that going once we have our new spaceship, and we can go and research or search that, see what that is, and search what that one is. Now as you can see, it's taken quite a long time to, you know, find these areas, and there is something we can build. A sensor tower that can speed that up. So I'm going to want one over here. I've put one over here. And these are expensive. They do cost electronics, these, but I always think it's worth it because it helps you find stuff out in the world quicker. So we'll power them up. They need cables. That'll do. Now you've got this funky angle here. Now you can just connect buildings like this. This will work. It just works like a single route. So there we go. Okay, so the spaceship has arrived. Here it comes. 2 sensor tower, 1 sensor tower not working. They will build this. This only costs metal. Here we go. Let's slow it down a bit. So now we've got our explorer. Now this guy can scan these anomalies. So there's one there, and then shift click, shift right click on that, shift right click on this. It will go and analyze this by itself. Now the transport guy I brought in to do this job, I want him to go over here. So this is it's like a transport route. So if you want to keep moving resources, this is what it does. But the way I use it is I send it over here, I tell it to collect everything it can in this area, and then bring it back home And so it will go and it will harvest this metal and bring it back and dump it probably in this metal deposit. So that is real useful for us. So it's going alright. So now we've built these sensors. This one still needs a bit of power. Right, not enough power, we're going to need more power. We can build some more of these Stirling generators. We can also build some wind turbines, big or small, and solar panels. The solar panels are really cheap, so we'll just get a load of these. The bigger ones, I always go for the bigger ones. You know, stick them all in there, keep it all nice and close together so we can fit more in. So why are you guys short? You still need, you know, lots going on, a lot to lift here for these drones, but so we'll speed it up. So they're unloading everything that was on this ship. Oh, Japan has constructed a Moxie already. Okay, so we're going to need to build a Moxie ourselves because we need to actually be able to breathe in our domes. So let's go to life support. Let's build a Moxie. Let's connect it to these cables. See all these cables kind of just.
Anomaly analyzed.
Where are the cables going to be? Oh.
There's more to the barren environs of the Red Planet than meets the eye. A veritable treasure trove of...
Yeah. We've got more research. I'm not very good. So look, revealed more research. A heater, that's good for cold waves, but our planet doesn't really get many cold waves. But we would kind of like to improve our turbines, our wind turbines. It's just about to finish this one. Now this clearing and salvaging is very useful if you have asteroids hitting and you can't fix it. So that maybe something we could go into, but I'm gonna go for some polymer blades. You can upgrade the blades. And I also want us a bit of funding after that, so those things will happen automatically. We can increase science, but
research
we'll
complete.
get there. Here we go. We've got more applicants will turn up. Milestone achieved. Now what achieved? So we've got the launch a rocket from Mars. So that will come once we get our fuel on board. Construct a dome, we're doing that. First human on Mars is. So this will all kind of, you know, it will happen pretty soon.
Sector scanned.
It's all coming about. Here you go, this guy. He's loading up on all these metals in this area. And he's going to bring it back. And we just scanned a new section. As you can see, the sensor tower boosts how quickly that you scan these sections, the ones they're closer to. As you get further away, you can see the boost is worse. So probably go there after that one. Yeah, we'll probably look up there. So that'll just get on and do its own thing. That's what you use these guys for.
Research complete. Anomaly analyzed.
Oh yes, so research went up because the anomaly gave us 1,000 research. There you go. So we managed to get the more efficient turbines. So we should probably build some turbines. But we're going to build these solar panels first. And I also, just to be careful, build a battery. I want to be able to store up all that. It costs polymers, which are expensive and it's expensive to maintain, but I think it's important to have a nice storage of electricity. Oh look, I managed to actually miss connecting that, so that's useful that it told me that. So we're taking water and we're storing it, but I'd also like to produce from the Moxie. We will put, I think we'll put here, and then it can collect here. Now I'm pretty sure from here is where the oxygen and water enters from this section. Possibly, I don't think it's there. I think it's there. We'll see. Find out if I'm wrong or not. It only costs metals to build these two, so not too expensive. It's nice to have somewhere to store it so that if you have a disaster, it doesn't all go terrible. I think I was right, and we also want the water connected.
No active research.
Oh,
Research complete.
Let's get the research going. Let's make the Moxies better. We want a deep scan, that's pretty good. We'll start fixing up these guys soon. Yeah, just drones and rovers move faster. Yeah, keep it coming, keep it coming. Farms, we want farms. That's good, just keep it coming. Love it. Okay, this needs some power. Got the music in the background, just chill. So we want to prioritize this one going first because it's not on the landing pod. So prioritize this one, get it fueled, get it gone. Okay. So we've got a bit of funding as well, so that's good. And we scanned another section. Oh, it's very high grade, isn't it? More rare metals, so probably room for moving in the future to this way around. Nice to get that. Now these section here, this is an effect. It increases research. If you build a dome here
Milestone achieved.
we'll pause the game. If we build a dome here to get to these resources, but it'll also give us 10% research boost when we build. If we look in here in home, education and research, we can build research labs. So the labs will be 10% more efficient in this area. Now sometimes you can find areas that have multiple of these next to each other, and if you get the dome in the right place, it's really good because it will increase from 10 to 30, 40, 50 depending on the rates, because they're different rates. They're not always 10, some are 15, some are 20 I think. Okay, so this needs oxygen. Our oxygen producer is here, just not got any power, so we haven't got enough. Look, negative power, oxygen and water. So we need more power because it's night time and I built, solar panels. Not the most useful, let's be honest. So what is the elevation boost? Look, we've only got a 7% elevation boost. It's really bad. If we're up here, 69%. Over here, we've got 70s over here, 69. So it's not the best, not the most efficient, but I'm a big fan of it because wind blows all the time. I'm going to build 2 large ones. We're not going to go for the little ones, we're going to go full out, big, go hard or go home, Also, here's the deep metals. We can't dig here. This production metals won't work there because we haven't got the resource yet, the research yet. We have to go out and do this one over here on the left. But as we've got these resources on the surface, we can live by that for a while.
Research complete.
What are you doing? You're being lazy. Go get those resources and bring it back. Here we go. So another research done, so we're getting through it. Fungal farms are not the best, but they get you a ticking food. Now, this is our dome. Oh, I can see what I've done wrong here. You've probably noticed already, but I need that pipe there so it connects.
Scanned.
Scanned this. What have we got? Another deep metals. It needs a deep metal extractor. Not much else there, to be honest. We'll keep going after we've done all these. It's not too bad. We're low on water, so we need more water. And speed up. We need to send one of these back. It's nearly time. Because the supply pod, it's alright. It doesn't give us much. But I need... This is quite expensive. Do you know what? We're going to do this. Just get us some more water evaporators. But I also want... How much water is it? 13,000. Now we'll go through that quick. I'd rather go over... Let's go overkill. Let's go overkill. Rather overkill than underkill. Said no one ever. But so let's have a look. So our drone hub has a big area. So it's still inside that area. That's good. So if it's outside, the drones wouldn't reach it. You wouldn't be able to build it. But it's still inside, so that's good. If you want to go further out, you can use an RC commander. So he packs up his drones that he's got. He's got 4 on board. You can travel off and build something elsewhere. So if you want to expand somewhere else, that's the thing to do. We'll get a look at what these supply pods do. We've requested some resources. But we're out of fuel, so it's all kind of waiting on the water. But it's taking its time. But look, we've got a bit of oxygen being produced. Oxygen will be going into here. Here we go. Supply pod has made it. Just drop him here.
Anomaly found.
Oh yes, I was just thinking we needed another anomaly. Send off the explorer. Here you go. The supply pod's landed. We can salvage it. It gives a little bit of resources, not much. Come on, get us metals, bring it home. A little bit of metals have been salvaged, but most importantly,
Resources are low.
yeah, we know. Brought us these evaporators to get moisture out the air. And you don't want to build it inside the same area as another one. See, there's one here, and this is the area. So we don't want to build too close to that. We want to be outside that. We don't want to build too close to spaceships because they kick up dust when they take off. So I'm going to go for one here. And let's just connect this up. I like to run my pipes over my electronics so they all kind of runs together. It works quite well that way.
We've just found Beagle 2. Or at least what's left of it.
Oh dear. Well, it reduces the cost of robotics, so that's good. So that was useful, well done, good find. Come home. Wait till we find more stuff. We're going to plan. Oh, we need power for these guys. So I'm trying to go quite quickly, get things sorted out. Want water, because we're going to want to get some passengers
Research complete.
soon. Yep, all still flowing. See, this is quite a good one. I like this. Just get sensor towers and send them out, build them, get things found, but don't need power or maintenance. But there's more important things for now. I want this. I like engineers and geologists. So when you bring people in, they will all have special, well not all of them, some of them will have special jobs. They'll be good at certain things. And so we're going to want them to be doing the jobs that they're good at. And so for metals, we need geologists who are good at digging. And so let's slow down and we'll start building a little home for the geologists that will be coming down to Earth, or down from Earth to Mars. So we go to our home and education and we'll build a living complex. And as you can see, it's a nice triangle grid. See these are 14 residents, but you can build little ones, 3 by 3s, because there's 10 spaces, so you get 3, 3, 3, and 1 in the middle. Oh, this is good. Look at that, oh, that's really good. Deep rare metals. That's something we'd like to really get into later. Look, metal there, and proper metals there. Now, it's flashing at me, it's telling me spaceship's ready to go. Filled with fuel, ready to rock and roll.
Milestone achieved.
So we've got a bit of free science there. So off it goes. Now these guys are blinking because they've just lost the guy that was in control of them. But they'll sort themselves out soon. It's all good. Now, he's got all those metals. I'm sure there's some metals over here, wasn't there? Yes. Collect those, bring those back. You're not being that useful yet, but you'll get there, you'll get there. I'll send the command over here to help out with the concrete, 'cause it tends to... It's not too bad at the minute.
Resources are low.
Oh, running out of... So we don't produce this stuff yet, so this stuff we're going to try and look after, but spending it a bit easily. Now I don't mind upgrading this. I think it's worth the cost, that 2 polymer. I think it's very much worth it. And we've got research so that we can upgrade these as well. If I can find it. Oh, it doesn't. No, maybe not yet. We'll be able to upgrade these at some point, make them more efficient as well. But at the moment, we don't need that. We've got plenty of water coming in. And as you can see, these guys can do more. They can produce 4.4 more. But they don't, because they only provide what's really needed. So that's really useful. Something to be aware of. So storages, dumping site, we need a dumping site. These guys actually, when they dig out the water, they pump out waste material, so they need to dump that as well. A few of the mining things do that, so that's that. As you can see, this one's really filling up already. I'm going to need a larger dumping site for that. Now this will start filling up with fuel to go. This spaceship's still travelling to Earth, and when it's got there, I'm going to send humans back to Mars. Okay. Or when I say back to Mars, to start on Mars. Let's carry on building. So we can have little living quarters or bigger ones. I like bigger ones. Nursery and playgrounds for the children and schools. Don't really need that yet. They can just live in normal homes. I'm going to build another living complex. So that's 14 people plus 14, so that's 28. But they need services. They need to be looked after. They don't want to live in this dome and be bored. So we have comfort levels. The more comfortable and happy
Sector
they are,
scanned. Anomaly found.
you want them happy, basically. If they're happy, they will have babies. So basically we're part of the breeding program. Really, it's a bit dodgy really, isn't it? But that's the way it is. I want to build a grocer, so they all provide different things. This one does food and shopping, as you can see. It uses food, but it produces, food and shopping. Security station, if people, got lots of people, there'll be crime. Casino, if you have gamblers, they'll turn up. Gyms, keeps them healthy, social. It's always good to have an infirmary, don't want them getting ill. Diners, does dining, social and food. Space bars, I like to get a space bar and a diner when I first start up.
Research complete.
So that's something to be aware of. These things don't go into these because they use up, that they consume electronics, consume polymers. So you don't really want to build these early on, and you don't really want to turn your people into gamblers. And also that uses 15 electronics, which is very expensive, so be careful of that. You also have decorations you can build that give them relaxation and exercise, and keeps them happy basically. But I noticed I haven't got any food production. I'm going to want to have some food production. We've got farms not unlocked yet. We can build a hydroponic farm that will just do the job for now. Nice and cheap. But I'm going to want to build a farm as soon as I can. Get people producing food. And if they're going to produce food here, we're going to need to put somewhere for them to put the food. Very good. Now we've nearly made it back. Speed up a little bit. Good. Spaceship has made it. I want passengers. Now we have 61 applicants. 12 in here. Now let's filter it. We don't want everyone. Celebrities and geniuses are good. You've got all sorts of different kind of people that you want. We don't really want gamers yet. We can't really provide for them. Sexy people are babies, always good. Survivor. They lose less health, so they don't die on you. Oh, Saints, I don't think I've really focused on it. We don't. Workaholic could be useful. Nerds could be useful. But I think we'll just apply that for now. We don't want any flaws. No flaws. If they have got any flaws, get rid of them. Sex, we want a bit of both. Age group, we don't want seniors good, and we don't want children. You might want children later, but not at the moment. These guys are going to be working hard because they're the first ones on Mars. And as for traits, we said we want geologists. We'd like some botanists so that we can have some farms. Do we want some science? We could start some science off. There's no harm in that. But we'll get a few. And then, we've got botanists. Yep, 3 botanists, 3 scientists, a couple of geologists. I'd like a few more geologists, I'm not going to lie. So for floors, I'm gonna do it myself. We don't want alcoholics. I don't mind that. We don't really want gamblers. Gluttons, probably not the right thing. I mean, it's quite fun having an idiot about, isn't it? Loners, whiners. That's alright, that's alright. So, how many... I don't want... I'm going to say no to scientists now. We want geologists and botanists. Good. Now, let's launch that rocket. We only have 12 people. You can upgrade your ship to have more people later, but we've also got an officer. I don't really want an officer. Let's just bring a randomer and we will launch that. So same, we need people in these. Yeah, we do. They're on their way.
Anomaly analyzed.
There's more to the barren environment.
So we've got another anomaly. We have university. Oh, that would be quite a useful one to get. Increase our science from our sponsor. Oh, I'm liking these yellow
Sector
pipes.
scanned.
That's not a very good sector at all. 18 metals, that was all. But if I notice something over here, yeah, look at all this metal. What are you up to? Still working, that's good. Okay, so it's all going pretty well. It's going quick enough. We have fuel coming in. Buildings aren't working because we haven't got anyone there. Are we? We're getting there. We're getting there. I'd like this farm quickly, so I get the botanists working. And as we've got guys coming, we need to have some rare metal extractor set up. So get to work, guys. Use the materials. There we go. Flying across. It's all working quite nicely at the moment. A nice little colony go. Colony, not Connolly, come on. It's hard to speak when you can't hear yourself. Alright, here it comes. All the resources. And it's guys building it up. Nearly there. They're helping out. Good. We can even upgrade it from the beginning. I'd like that.
Analyzed.
There's more to the barren environs of the red planet than meets the eye.
So we've got more. We can now build Stirling generators if we research that. But there's more important things to do first. We need people. Now we've got 2 rockets. We'll have 2 rockets going pretty much the whole time. So I'm going to build another landing pad. Let's just build it a little bit closer. So they'll use this concrete. He's working hard. He's working 3 days, or all the shifts in the day. Yes, I know. We need people, and they're coming. I'm going to open this shift. So day shift, like evening shift, and then 24-hour shift. That's the one you don't really want people working outside on this shift, the night shift. First and second are fine. Night shift, you're pushing it a bit, but at the same time, they're not real. It's fine. Oh, so a load of planetary view. We've got a load of planet anomalies. Here we go. That have just popped up. As you can see, they give you different outcomes. You've got to send different things out there. So this needs 5 crew, and we get a breakthrough. I would like that, I think. But they want geologists. I haven't got any of those. So this is the kind of stuff that the other nations will compete with to get. Resources, outcome resources, full science. See, I'm not able to compete with that. Oh, that's a good sector. With a very deep water as well. Alright, the people are up there. Look, if we leave them up there, they're going to die in 118 hours, but we'll let them land. Here they come. There's a spaceship. There it comes, nice and quick. Got to speed up. Open up the doors.
Achieved.
Here they come.
Crop failure reported. New colonists.
See, it always tells you a
arrived.
crop failure has failed when the new people start working at a farm, so no need to worry about that. They go bouncing along, straight in. Don't worry about that. Here they come. Quite a cool little game into the airlock. Here they come. Here you go. Napier. Oh. Honor's out already. Lin. Good luck, guys. Find your own homes. There they are. We haven't got any food there, so some food should have come in this spaceship. Looks like it's all been unloaded already. Now, food is quite cheap to import, so it's all okay. Oh, I've made a mistake and not connected that, so quickly connect that up.
Full of hope and determination, the first founders have set foot on the Red Planet.
So now we have 10 days or 10 souls of waiting before we can get more. So it can take a bit of time. This there are times in this game that it can go on a little bit. Now if we need more power, we can open these up. There's a button that opens them, but we don't really need to do that yet. If there's a dust storm and you've got these open, then they deteriorate. We don't want that. They get fixed, so we'll just leave them closed for now. Something to be aware of later on. We've got plenty of power coming. These guys are filling us up on our battery.
Sector scanned. Anomaly found.
Oh, yep. Anomaly found. Off you go. So you got quite a lot found. You know, we're getting there, We'll go there afterwards. So I want to send these rockets back, but it's taking a while to fill them up with fuel. So you're going to kind of think, where do we go next? So we have 3 guys working there, that's good. They're making this grass, wheat. Growth time takes 1 day, and we get 2.5 harvest. It only requires 2.4 to keep these guys going, so that's quite good. Now this takes 4 days, and we will get 12, so it'll be 4 per day, which is better, but then we have to wait 4 days for that. This is 4 days, but only 10, but it uses less water. I don't think that's really worth it. You might as well go, leafy if you want to go leafy. And we got 3 botanists. I think that's botanists, they wear green tops. There you go. So the worker performance is 113. They're better workers because they're botanists working in this farm. So we've got someone here working in this grocer. That's a no specialisation, that's good. The doctor would normally have a medic, but we've got a spare botanist. And yep, all our brown topped geologists working hard. Produced food, yes, good. We also want to research a breakthrough. Our first Martian born. So if someone had a baby, that would be our first Martian born. So we're getting through. There's loads of these, 100%ing. This takes forever, but lots and lots of things. Kind of helps you through the game, shows you what to do next. As you can see, we're getting through there quite well.
Breakthrough discovered.
Oh yes, a breakthrough discovered, that's good. Now, that's an okay one, that's not the best. Breakthroughs are random techs that you get that are really good. Some of them are really, really good, like game-changingly good. So that's something to be aware of. You get some really good ones, so they're good to get. And if you go to the planet view and you see one, they see this one will give us research progress, which will be alright. But a breakthrough is really good. You kind of want to get that, just because it could be something quite special. Kind of stuff like there's one that makes your old people work. The ones that should be retired keep working, which is actually really useful. It's kind of like forced labour, but really useful. And it seems to be going alright. We've got people settled. We've got 10 days to wait. I think I'm going to call it a day there. Maybe come back to it later. Hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching that. I'll see you next time.